So ask yourself, because is it peace? Is it health? Is it love? Is it prosperity? Is it family? What's really important to you? How do we know? What I'm going to say is, look at your life. Where do you spend your time, your energy, your attention, and your money? Wherever that is, that's actually what's important to you. It's a tricky thing, because sometimes what we think doesn't match how we live. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. See, if we can really match up what I say is important and live in a way that looks like I mean it's important, then we can change our life in a positive direction. When we notice there's discord, when we notice there's lack of integrity, all we have to do is make a choice and make some changes. It's not that hard to do. So whenever, you guys know this, because there are moments, we have these times in our lives. Whenever what we say and how we live match up, you're happy, right? You're living in integrity. You're more authentic as a being. You're more loving when you're in integrity. See, when we're being authentic, we're a safe place for ourselves and for other people. When we're being authentic, we're trustworthy. If what I say and how I live match up, you know who I am. And you know what to expect from me. And you can count on that. When you're happy, you share your joy. You make other people happy. When you're loving, you bring more love into the world. When you get excited, when you get inspired, you actually inspire other people. We had this great talk last week. Was it just last week? About spiritual relationship. There's all this stuff about spiritualize your life, spiritualize your work, spiritualize your relationships, spiritualize your money. The key to all of that is inspiration. That's all it takes to spiritualize your entire life, is to be inspired. Inspiration literally means filled with spirit.
Yes.
And my other favorite, by the way, is enthusiasm. Enthusiasm means filled with God. It means God within. That's the key. So, a little basic refresher, okay? The 5 unity principles. And I keep telling you, there's only one that's really important, and we have the other 4 to kind of guide us along the way. But our first unity principle, God is. Well, God is everyone, everywhere, everything. No exceptions. I told it's a short course, so. Now, our second unity principle is I am. Well, if we really believe the first unity principle, it means I am everyone, everything, and everywhere. Our third unity principle reminds us how we work in this world, how this world came to be. Thoughts create. Guess what? Everything, everyone, everywhere. The fourth unity principle is align with Spirit. We are to align with Spirit so that we can see God in everyone and in everything everywhere. And the fifth unity principle, it's my favorite because that's where the rubber meets the road. Do it! It's sort of like you need to know that who you are makes a difference. What you do makes a difference to everyone, everything, everywhere. The bottom line this morning really is you are important.
Yes.
What's really, really important is you being you, fully. You being the Christ you are created to be. Now, how's that look in the world? I mean, great, we have this spiritual stuff, and how's that show up in the world? Real simple, guys. It looks like you being happy. It looks like you being authentic. It looks like you being loving. That's how it shows up. Doesn't matter what you do, by the way. It's how you do it. It's who you are as you act in this world. When you know that you're important, it's you loving everyone and everything all the time. And then instantly forgiving yourself when you forget. Because we forget. The Buddhists have this wonderful thing, this principle. It's a foundational principle in Buddhism, in unity too. Do no harm. That also means do no harm to you. Do no harm to your body. Do no harm to your mind. Do no harm to your spirit. Do no harm. When we stop hurting ourselves, we will stop hurting the world. See, we harm ourselves with all of our little mistakes. And by the way, for those of you with a good, solid Christian background, you know that sins are the things that get us. Well, sin just means mistake, guys. But we harm ourselves with our sins of omission as well as our sins of commission. Which means we harm ourselves by what we do, and we harm ourselves by what we do not do. And the greatest harm we do to ourselves is when we do not remember the truth of who we are. When we do not treat ourselves and therefore act as the Christ we are created to be. See, once we actually realize that how well we love ourselves, how much we honor ourselves, how well we take care of ourselves, affects everyone, everything, everywhere. Where once we notice that and remember that and act on that, we begin to make better choices. You guys know that, right? I mean, there are some things that you'll do or let slide because it's just you. Oh, well, it's okay. I can do without that or whatever. That you wouldn't let slide if it was you and your kid, or you and your spouse, or you and your best friend. Or you and the Christ. You need to be as important to you as the most important being you can imagine. So whenever we judge, whenever we complain, whenever we put ourselves down, you know, when you're hard on yourself, you're beating up on everybody. So do no harm in this case means stop complaining, stop blaming yourself, stop acting like a victim. Isn't that interesting? See, acting like a victim says, I'm not powerful. I am not as God created me to be. I'm not a choice here. That hurts. Because it's not true. We actually need to forgive ourselves and start learning from everything that happens. See, everything, good, bad, or indifferent, can be used to remind us, to wake us up, to remember who we really are. You know that, right? Somebody gets in your face, you have a choice. You can either react with fear, anger, whatever it is, or you can respond with love. We always have that choice. So what's really important? What's really important is you. What's important is what you believe and how you live. That's the most important. It makes a difference what you think, what you say, what you do. It's important. So in terms of what do we do? Great. First thing, it's really, really important that I always forgive myself. And I start here, by the way. Everything I think I need to forgive out there, is only because I have not forgiven in here enough for me to be peaceful and extend love. Do you understand? Stuff that I think you did to me only means you presented me with something that was a little bit of a challenge to my ability to love you. And the real forgiveness needs to be here. I forgive myself for not being clear enough, forgetting to extend love in this particular circumstance. And frankly, thank you for waking me up so that I noticed that. Boy, how do I get this? How do I get that I really am important? See, once we get that our thoughts create, good or bad, by the way, doesn't matter. See, the important thing isn't the product of our thoughts. The important thing is that we can think, and that our thoughts create. You know the old story, Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, and I don't know how many, it's 10,000, 11,000 different experiments before he finally came up with the light bulb. And somebody about 9,000 and something said, aren't you tired of making all these mistakes? He says, it's not a mistake. He says, I just now know another way not to make a light bulb. See, it isn't the mistake that's the problem. It's not learning something from it. So yeah, our thoughts create. And if they create good things, I'll have more of those thoughts. If they create stuff that I don't like, I think I'll let those thoughts go and replace them with the happy thoughts. Does that make sense? Yes. And I need to remember that my words create. You know what my words do? My words actually draw you into my creation. See, my thoughts create, and yes, you're involved in that because I'm creating all of you right now. But my words actually engage your thoughts so that our thoughts together create. That's what makes, by the way, this tangible, manifest world is agreement. This is a podium. And it has the function to hold my papers and to have me stand behind. Only a good podium really would be dark in front and you wouldn't be able to see what I'm doing and I could put my footwork. But it's a podium. And it's a podium because it's always been a podium since somebody made it up the first time and said, this is what it's used for. Hide behind this when you want to talk. It would not be a podium if we did not agree on that. You guys understand that, right? So your words create. Your actions. What happens is how you act creates a model for the world. And we are teaching only one of two things. We're either teaching love or we're teaching fear. You know the old thing, I love this one, so I probably said it to you 1,000 times, but your actions speak so loudly I cannot hear what you are saying. You're that important. Get that everything you think, say, and do teaches everyone everywhere. You are broadcasting the world that you want to live in by who you are. So my reminder to me and to you, now's the time. No better time than now. I mean, we have a chance. You know, we're awake enough to hear this and to think, well, maybe I'm that important. So the time is now. The time is now to remember who we are. The time is now to remember what's really important. Because we really are here to teach and to be love in our world. So thank you guys for being there.
Wow.